Family. Family is the heart of society. Family is the most important value, and everyone should cherish it. George Burns once said, "Happiness is having a large, loving, caring, close-knit family in another city." These are typical answers from people who are asked what family means to them. Can everyone say this about their family? Let's dip into this topic and explore the meaning of family.
Sloboda je kľúčom k nezávislosti. No, čo sloboda znamená pre teba? Štvorka ťa nebude obmedzovať. Sloboda pre mladých nie je len paušál. Sú to otvorené dvere do nového slobodného života. Tak daj záväzky bokom a prejdi do štvorky. Voľné minúty, SMS-ky a mobilné dáta dostaneš už za 4 eurá mesačne, a to bez viazanosti. Všetko vyriešiš pohodlne na webe slobodapremladých.sk alebo v mobilnej appke Moja štvorka. Stačí, aby si mal potvrdenie o štúdiu. Tak na čo ešte čakáš?
The first people we meet as newborn babies are our parents, creating the basic unit in society. Our lives are influenced by the way in which we are raised, educated, and treated by our family. But is it family that defines us? Unfortunately, we can't answer this question directly, because even though our parents are here from the very beginning, only we shape our lives and are responsible for the decisions we make. So, what are the functions of the family? If you answered, there are lots, you are completely right. Some of them should automatically be part of an invisible list, but there are always additional functions that differ from family to family. An emotional function, support, and preparing children for life in society and social groups are elements that we expect families to provide as an essential part of raising children. Parents are generally known to explain to their children how to behave in public, in a collective, at school, and these given and learned moral standards are reflected in future behaviour. Why does everyone say that family is the safest place in the world? An answer might be found in the theory that true families share important moments in their lives, trust each other, and can rely on each other in any situation. What does it mean to rely on family members? To be given help in a crisis, whether it is a mental, work, school, or financial crisis. The family also has an economic function, when parents provide for their children's education, clothes, and other costs, which are, to be honest, enormous. Of course, everything described previously is the ideal state, which is not automatically the case in real life. Every family is different, and sometimes conditions like the way of life or financial situation do not create an appropriate environment for children's development. Differences may be visible in the types of family as well. Let's introduce some of them. In the past, one type of family was acceptable, the nuclear family consisting of a mother, father, and children. Fortunately, or unfortunately, times are constantly changing and the perception of family is different. The nuclear family is the traditional base and model for other types of families, which society is only just beginning to accept and integrate. The roles of mother and father are known as unwritten rules, and they are very often stereotypical. In general, family members are supposed to have certain duties and responsibilities. However, nuclear families often expect mothers to take care of children and the household, whereas fathers are expected to be the breadwinners and provide for the family. Against expectations, modern generations don't insist on this exact division of duties, and responsibilities are often exchanged. Children also participate in domestic chores like tidying, cooking, ironing, sweeping, and vacuuming, which is necessary in order to learn how to take care of material things, the household, and to understand the consequences of their actions. Have you ever heard the saying, almost proverb, "While you were living under my roof, you are not going there or doing this"? This is the reason why the younger members of the family are expected to obey their parents, listen to their advice, and learn as much as they can. This wisdom sometimes turns children into rebels, but freedom comes when children become adults and leave their home. Freedom for children, but empty nest syndrome for parents, leading to sadness and often to depression for the parents. During this phase, parents suddenly miss the old times of small babies slowly becoming toddlers, saying their first words, taking their first steps. They recall the separation when the kids started attending nursery, remember all the triumphs of their first drawings in the kindergarten, and the failures of their first attempts at reading in school. This film reel full of memories running through parents' minds makes them realise that the golden old times when they were younger are gone. However, parents are not the only ones who suffer from solitude. This syndrome can also affect grandparents in the case of an extended family household. The extended type of family includes several family members under one roof. In the majority of cases, grandparents live with their children and grandchildren. Opinions about this type of life vary. Some people are completely against the idea because they would miss the privacy and freedom to raise their kids on their own without the practical advice of older family members. The generation gap, when grandparents sometimes exaggerate and compare their lifestyle with the one of the younger generation, might have a negative impact on the family. However, everything has its pros and cons, and the advantages might be found in the extra help, added experience, and memories made with the whole family. We can include cousins, nephews, nieces, and in-laws in the extended family as well, but relationships between all these people can differ, as is reflected in family events and get-togethers during the Christmas or Easter holidays, weddings, christenings, birthday celebrations, funerals, and other gatherings. As we mentioned earlier, there are other types of families alongside traditional ones. Modern society also includes homosexual families who adopt children and raise them in the same way as a nuclear family. However, the idea of homosexual families is supported mostly in liberal countries. That's why we can say that not only individuals within the family have an influence on a child's development, but the external environment, country, culture, and customs also affect the upbringing process. Every culture has its own lifestyle, religion, and morals, and these factors shape marriage standards. Slovakia typically has monogamous and egalitarian marriages, where only one life partner is allowed. The mother and father are married to each other, and both are equally important. However, it is becoming increasingly popular nowadays to function without an official marriage or partnership, which means that many couples live and have a family together without a wedding or any other official ceremony. It is up to the partners to take this decision, taking into account the wishes of their families. Even though marriages are becoming less popular, many people, especially women, still dream about an ideal wedding full of perfect decorations, diamond wedding rings, a beautiful wedding dress, delicious food, and a big party. Everyone hopes that their marriage will last forever with endless love and care. Unfortunately, the situation in families is not always idyllic, and it happens more and more often that couples get divorced. They decide to live separately, and now you can ask yourself why people get divorced so often nowadays. A very philosophical question that can be answered in a million ways. There are many reasons why people end their marriage, and none of them are pleasant. The reasons might be gambling, alcoholism, drugs, cheating, different perspectives on life and the future, financial instability, emotional imbalance, and more. Dear listeners, all we can do is hope that we and our families and friends will never find ourselves in this situation, which can cause many mental and financial problems. Kids are separated from their parents and in the care of only one of their parents. Divorce is not the only reason why there are single parents who take care of their children alone. Parents can be widowed following the death of a spouse, and sometimes they remarry. In this case, the partners become step-parents who aren't biologically related to their partner's children. If the care from both parents is fair, loving, and meaningful, every child should value the opportunity to grow up in a nurturing environment, because not every kid is that lucky. Some orphaned children grow up in children's homes, where their parents are unknown to them and they are taken care of by foster parents and employees of the orphanage. These kids had fewer opportunities for a full education of free time activities, but on the other hand, they learned how to cooperate and work in a team or group of people. They have to learn from the very beginning how to fight for themselves and that nothing is for free. Orphans don't usually have as much love as every kid deserves, and this is the reason why you listeners should think about your life and family. Understand the value of family, and even though there might be problems, try to help find solutions and avoid making the same mistakes as your parents. If you are fed up with your family, just count to 10, take a deep breath, and realize how lucky you are to have someone who loves you. Family is a very wide notion, and it doesn't have to be only parents and siblings. You have the right to extend your family to friends, partners, and close ones around you. As the little prince says when he reveals the secret recipe of life, It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. Dear listeners, we have not completely reached the end yet. If you want to know more, just listen carefully. When you get married, members of the family from your partner's side are in-laws. Yes, that's right. In early English, the term in-law was used to distinguish family members by marriage from those whose relationships were by nature, and to give them the same rights and responsibilities to care and protect. So if sometimes your parents-in-law poke their noses into an argument or a particular situation between you and your partner, don't get mad. Just accept that they are trying to care for you and stay calm. Being single is not something to be ashamed of anymore. Quite the contrary. It is becoming more and more popular. However, nicknames are still around, and those women who reach a certain age, probably around 30, are commonly named spinsters. So be careful. If you are single without an appropriate suitor and there is no opportunity to become pregnant in the near future, it is more than possible that your nickname will be this unpleasant. Men don't differ from women in this field, and they also own the nice nickname of bachelor. However, the age when they become bachelors is a little bit higher than for women. It is just around the age of 40 that men are generally supposed to be the most attractive and experienced. The period when a couple is only in the process of getting married is called an engagement. Sometimes it is also called insurance, that the bride or groom doesn't run away and is sure to say their vows at the altar. If the marriage doesn't work, couples divorce, and children are under the permanent care of one parent, usually mothers, depending on the court's decision. The exact time of meetings with the second parent is also determined, with this parent providing alimony to help financially support the children. Joint custody is also possible in cases where parents decide to share the care of their children, taking turns to look after them. And the last but not the least piece of information is that if a couple is not able to have children through natural conception, there are several options such as artificial insemination, in vitro fertilization, or child adoption, which enable them to create their own family. Dear listeners, we hope that the topic of the family was very enriching and full of facts about different types of families. We gave you some information about the nuclear or extended family, as well as on differences between the roles of family members in the past and present. We have figured out the function and the meaning of family, and now it's only up to you to know how you treat that family of yours. Be careful and attentive to those around you, show them your love, and wait for our next podcast. We will be delighted if you subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or write us a comment on YouTube. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. We hope you listen to us again soon.